Hi, Eloise here. This week I want to talk about self-sabotage and our intuition. So, every week when I sit down to record a video, I ask the universe, my intuition, what you all need to know about. And quite often I've never explored this topic myself. It's one of those weeks, so bear with me. This could be great or terrible, but what else is possible? So, today, apparently everyone wants to hear about intuition and self-sabotage. So, the first thing I will say is we have to be clear about when we're listening to our intuition and when we're listening to the mind or the intellect or the ego or any of these other flavors of things, because that is what can set us off our true north. So, I live my life by my intuition. Every moment of every day, I just check in. And even now, recording this video, it's like, what does everyone need to know about? I had other ideas on my list of things to talk about, but no, this is where we're going. So I check in with my intuition all the time. But sometimes I still get distracted because my intuition might tell me to do something. And I'm like, okay, intuition, tell me when the right time is to do it. And this is a really good top tip as well, because sometimes we get ideas come up, but it's not the right time yet. So we can put loads of effort into doing something, and because technically time doesn't exist, our intuition isn't in linear time where we are all of the time, if that makes sense. So quantum physics tells us time and space don't exist. It's just a concept. Or as I say, time was made up down the pub. But time works different in the pub. If you're a Brit, you might know why. However, I'm distracting myself. But timing doesn't really exist. So when we tune into our intuition, we're tuning into a bigger space. We're tuning into everything through all time and space. It's not necessarily anchored into this moment in linear time where kind of, you might call it kind of horizontal time, where we are. So sometimes we're asking great questions and our intuition is giving us great answers, but the timing is off. So one way we can kind of sabotage ourselves is not asking when to implement things. So I've fallen foul of this before, where I've had a great idea and then I've been asking and asking and asking, and my intuition has gone, oh, now would be a good time. But it wasn't my intuition. It was my mind. It was coming from somewhere else. I was being driven by something. For me personally, I never do anything for money. Like, seriously, I don't. And I do everything because I want to create more in the world and I want to free people from their pain, be that mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, whatever level. And one of the ways to free ourselves is by accessing our intuition. So I make offerings, and if you choose to join me for them, great. If not, I honestly sometimes create things for one person. It's like sometimes I have series where it's included with something else and no one buys it. So I'm just doing it, for those people that are joining in, and that's fine. It still creates something bigger in the world. So I'm not driven by money. And occasionally, the need of money gets in the way and starts trying to make me do things maybe when the timing's not quite right. And so I had this happen. And once it happens, I'm like, okay, how could I ask my intuition a better question? Or how could I ask a better question to make sure that doesn't happen again? Because if my ego, my mind is like, oh shit, we need some money this month, it can drive my behavior to do things for money instead of being for that greater kind of good that I love coming from and that excites me. And so now I'm like, I really notice and pay attention, because when I have those great ideas and I'm trying to work out the timing of them, that can be when that kind of self-sabotage comes in, or like the need comes in more than the fun, because I like doing things that are fun and change people. So and free you. That's what drives me. So if other drivers come in, that can cause real problems for me. And when I'm coming from a different place, no one signs up. And, that's fine. Sometimes it happens that I put something out and no one really resonates with it, or just a couple of people do. And that's cool. It's like, whatever, it'll be great in the world. And the thing is, all the stuff I do, some of it I like is very in the moment, like welcome to 2023 or something. If I do a series like that, by the end of 2023, I might kind of turn it off, so no one else can sign up. But most of the time, all my products are available for life. So if someone might buy it 10 years later or 5 years later, or, and it'll be a gift to them in that moment. So just because people don't sign up now, back to linear time, people need things at different points in their lives. So it's very fascinating. So the self-sabotage can quite often come in with our intuition where we're coming from the wrong place, or we're doing things. And I'm not saying that making money is a bad thing. Absolutely not. And we could talk about money forever because it's a very interesting topic, and I have some series on money. If you want to go and check those out, I'll put the links below. But for me, I know how I'm wired, and I know what gets me excited. And when I get driven by in ways that don't contribute to that thing that excites me, then I know I'm kind of a bit off course a little bit. So my intuition speaks to me very clearly, but sometimes it's that kind of need that kind of sabotages things and takes me off onto a different path. Now, I've had something that I've kind of gone the full 360 or 180 on, probably 180, isn't it? I keep flip-flopping between choosing something and not choosing something over the last years, because my intuition, I can't speak, my intuition was very clear to me when I was asking questions. I think back in 2018, what it wanted me to do. And at the time, I had no idea what that was. It took me about 7 months before I clocked it. And I went, oh, that, okay, cool. And I was already working towards it, weirdly, but I didn't realize. And then after about a year, I started justifying why that wasn't a good idea and how I might try and do that in a different way, or, change things up. And I suddenly realized the other day, the moment I said no to that thing that my intuition had guided me to, everything just kind of just slowed down a bit. Everything's just been a bit sticky. Everything's just felt a bit sluggish again. And I've been like, oh, why is everything, it's taken me a while to notice it. I'm like, things aren't, like, don't have the momentum in some aspects of my business and my life at the moment. I'm like, it's curious. And then things have started changing to give me a kick up the arse. So I've been asking lots of questions, and I suddenly went, oh, what about that thing that I got a really clear yes to, and I didn't even know what it was at the time, and then I said no to it. Maybe I should start choosing it. And that feels really good. And I was working with a friend this morning to get some clarity on it, because sometimes it's good to get an external person to help support you see things. And I just got a very clear yes for it. And so I'm like, right, okay, plan. Let's see how we can put this into motion over the next 3-4 years. What do I need to do to get there? Okay, now I've got all the figures and the numbers and everything else. How much fun can I have creating that money so that I can do that thing, which is going to contribute so much more to the world and to my clients and students and be very exciting. Not telling you what it is, but but it's like sometimes we kind of flip-flop with things. We justify why it's not a good idea, or our intuition gives us a hint or an insight, and then we come up with reasons and justifications for why actually that's not the best thing for me. And it may be that it's just not the best thing for you then. Now, I don't know, me flip-flopping on this thing may have contributed to my life in many other ways. I don't know. So But it made me realize how when I was choosing it, everything just seemed to flow. And then when I stopped choosing it, everything just got a little slow. And I'm like, well, the reason why I said no to it was because I couldn't create it straight away. And I'm like, well, maybe it is going to take 3 or 4 years, and that's fine. It's like, I've still got a few years left in me yet. So, it's interesting. So, I didn't know I was going to talk about any of this today. But when we ask questions of our intuition, it's great to be able to have that structure and have tangible ways of getting answers. And that's the kind of thing that I look at in Intuition Talks, Intuition Talks Mastery. We've got the practical class coming up in September, and even Mindscape, got a class coming up in August. It's brilliant for structuring your intuition. So choose that if you want to really deep dive. But whatever sparks, you say yes to everything if it feels good, by the way. But we start Intuition Talks Mastery today as this video goes out, but obviously I'm recording it a couple of days before. And I'm so excited about what's being created and what's going to come out of that to, really help you and anyone that says yes to get to, a deeper level of awareness in life, a deeper level of kind of commitment and relationship with your intuition, so it can really be your best friend and guide you in your day-to-day life. Now, I'm not perfect. I still have things happen, and I've shared many stories over the years where I've ignored my intuition or tried to sideline it like I have now and go around it. But every time I do that, I get awarenesses and insights to help my students. So, I don't like having silver linings, but there are benefits. I bring it into my work, so it is quite interesting. And getting everyone to that space where you're following your heart, following your intuition, and living life based on that. Not worrying about what everyone thinks of you or what the right thing should be, or pandering to everybody around you and staying at the same level as everyone around you and not wanting to upset your family and all these kind of layers and things that stop us from moving forward. When we feel free of all of that and we be ourselves and we follow our intuition, we have so much more fun in life. Things are so much more easy. And it's just like, it's a really delicious space to live in. And I can be in that space for weeks and weeks and months on end, and then suddenly, okay, I'm hitting a brick wall. Okay, what is this? What have I not seen? And having these tools to be able to navigate that and work around it and keep moving forward with joy in my heart and creating joy for other people, it's what lights me up. It gets me excited, and I want to get everyone else on that journey as well. So you can still join Intuition Talks Mastery if you want. It's only just starting today, so jump in if you want to. And what else can we create? So we can sabotage ourselves in many ways. We've all done self-sabotage, but our intuition can guide us when we're sabotaging ourselves and when we're not. If we've got these practical tools to be able to check in and ask the questions and get clarity in our answers, it hands down really helps to navigate all of that. It's beautiful. So if you want to know more, join me for Intuition Talks Mastery, and I will catch up with you soon.